right. Whew. We'll get to the email submissions in just a second, but I want to start off with the email subject. And this is in your curriculum, so if you want to follow along, that's fine. But one of the first things is the email subject needs to be short, 6 to 8 words, because otherwise, if you have more than that, it starts to fall off in a lot of the inboxes. You don't even see the rest of it. So I just want to make sure that even if it is longer than that, that we put the main parts, the most important parts in those first 6 to 8 words in the email subject. This also needs to be where you showcase what you bring to the table, like Megan was talking about earlier, something that is super unique and maybe something that's needed in the agency. And we're going to go over this, so we're going to help you because we do know what the agents are saying that they look for a lot of times. And it doesn't matter if you feel like you're the most basic person, that there's a million of you out there. We are going to find something that will make you stand out in that email subject. 95% of people that send submissions to agents, their subject line is like, would love representation. That does
talent seeking representation.
Yes, that does not help. And I can't tell you how many other stories too that I know from agents that they may have received a submission from somebody. So what if like Juanita sends an email submission to an agent? In her subject, she says mature. I'm not saying you're a grandmother, Juanita,
okay.
but mature grandmother, you know, like mature, warm grandmother, whatever it is. That agent may be like, okay, great, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden an audition comes up and they're like, we are looking for a mature, wise female voice. And they're like, oh, you know what? So I just saw that subject that somebody was sending it to me. That is so much easier to search in your inbox to then find Juanita and go, hey, Juanita, I know you submitted this. Would you be open to just going ahead and doing this audition for me real quick? Yep. So that's the other reason why it's so important to put something specific and unique in that subject, because even if it doesn't necessarily grab them immediately, it could be something that's easy to search back to find the person that they're looking for. No filler words on the subject. No hello thing. We got a short amount of time. We got to get it in where we can fit it in. Okay. We already talked about highlighting your value. Here are some things that I will tell you that a lot of agents are looking for these days. These are going to be some of the keys, but if you don't have this, don't worry. You still have something that you can offer agents. But if you have any type of ethnicity, put that in your subject. If you can speak multiple languages, put that in your subject.
Or even bilingual.
Yes. If you're an English speaker that can speak Spanish, put that in your subject line.
But not as a hobby.
Right.
You've got to be able to fluently do it, because they've got gobs of people who are already fluent in every language. Just make sure you're fluent in that.
If you are, let's see, I don't know how old y'all are, but if you are in your early 20s or so, put that in your subject. Okay, nobody here. All right, we'll move on from that. It's all right. I know we all wish that we could be back in that area, but just me. But that's okay. So those are some of the main things that agents are all looking for these days, but that doesn't mean that you don't have something that they are looking for. So another thing that's really good to have in there is any type of unique vocal quality that you have. Is there raspiness to your voice? Is there something quirky about your voice? Do you have more of a professional sound? I know, Tina, you said you do a lot of narration. You used to do news, right? So that could be something that is a really big selling point in that subject. And not to mention a lot of commercials too. I've gotten so many commercials for saying like, we want like like a sports announcer or, TV announcer or something like that. It's even the case for TV shows too. Like here in Atlanta, Tyler Perry cast a lot of those types of roles. I'm sure where you're at, there's a bunch of those types of roles as well. So that could be something that's really important. So vocal quality, if you do, so I know I said if you're in your 20s, definitely put that, but if your vocal age range is younger, and maybe it's not 20s, but even if it's younger, if you can sound younger, then put that in the subject line. Even if you've gone through all of that and you say, Heidi, I'm still plain as day, then think about your background. background or something really unique that you bring to the table. So, for instance, do you have a background in healthcare? That could be extremely valuable, especially with like pharmaceutical ads or all that stuff. If you know that kind of language or lingo, then that is very important to put in the subject. Okay. The other thing that I love to do with subjects, and maybe this is just me, maybe you guys are not this way. I'm an over-explainer. And so sometimes I just need to get it kind of all out on the page and then condense from there. So what I want us all to do in this workshop is I want you to start on that page or your notes, wherever you want to, start writing out like a potential subject, email subject that you could have for you to describe you and your voice. We're going to take a little bit of time so you can do that. Then I want you to condense it down to about 6 to 8 words or so. You may have several that you come up with too, and that's okay. It's okay if it's a little messy or whatever. Don't worry about that. But then what I want to do is we're going to come back. I'm going to have you say your subject, and then I'm going to play your demo. And I want us all to listen in and go, sorry, Danielle. I know she's like freaking out. So like, wait, I did not know this was, I was not signed up for this. I want us all to be able to go, okay, if I read that subject line, is that reflective in the demo? Or is there anything else that we can come up with as a group for that person that could be really unique that stands out to us? It's a way for us all to be able to help each other and then also come up with maybe some unique words to describe your voice or something that you can include in there. So this is a way that we can all support each other, and really I want you to walk away feeling really confident and confirmed in your subject, or at least on the right track. Okay, does that make sense? So I'm going to give us like 10 minutes. Is that plenty of time? Okay, we'll come back at 4 after. I know everybody may be on different time zones, so 4 after, and then we'll be prepared to just read your short email subject, and then we'll go from there.
Can you give an example of a whole one?
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna pick on John real quick, because John and I just had a coaching session yesterday. Now John is, a white male, obviously, and he's like, what do I bring to the table? There's probably a lot of me. So his voice, I said, you are Charlie Day meets the Godfather.
Oh yeah.
John, will you just talk for just a second again? Sorry, John, to put you on the spot.
I'm John. Yeah, I guess I'm from New Jersey, and I'm Italian American, so there's a little bit of that for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So automatically, even though it's not like he's not, doesn't speak multiple languages, it's something that's going to grab somebody's attention. It immediately shows what kind of voice he has. It's very interesting and different and unique, right?
I speak broken English. That's what I speak. Broken English.
And you're going to remember that, right? It's like, that's something that's so easy to remember.
And and agents know this because they send this out. I've gotten so many auditions just from agents who said, we want a unique voice that stands out. That's
Charlie Day meets
It's not going to be mine.
No, I think it was I never thought of it, but it sort of does wrap it up in like a quick little snippet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be an exhaustive description of who you are or your voice. Our goal is for you to get seen immediately. If they're like looking through, they get hundreds of emails every week of submissions. So if they're like, that's going to stop me, versus just like, here's my VO demo. We need to add something just unique to make it stand out. Does that help a little bit, Abby?
Yes.
And even, listen guys, even if you come back after this 10 minutes and you're like, I don't really have anything condensed, but I've kind of got some bullet points or some ideas, that's okay too, because we can all help, try and like narrow it down.
Don't be like me. You don't have to be perfect with this. We're all creatives, right? Get creative, put bullet points down. If you think of essence statements that maybe your voice reminds you of, write those down. We'll workshop it. We'll dial it in.
Yeah. Okay, did that make clear? Did anybody else have any questions? Sorry, I should have opened it for questions, so thanks, Abby. Cool. We'll come back at 5 after, okay? Okay, cool.
And bathroom break if you guys need it too.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be
How dare you?
perfect. I get,
I feel really attacked right now.
but yet seen, right?
Yeah. It's perpetual, my response to memes. Attacked or seen?
I get it. I'm the same way. I want it to be just right. But that's the thing. It's creatives. The goal is simply to stand out.
Yeah. Well, and when you're like, white millennial woman.
But you're so much more than that. And your
Warm.
voice is more than that. Alright, I'm gonna let you focus. Well, it's the end of an era. I think the Keurig just died.
Oh, really?
No.
No. That is a
Made it
wow.
5 years.
Okay. All right. Does anybody want to volunteer to go first?
I'll go first.
Oh, Garrett. Okay, Garrett. All right. So here's what I want everybody else to do that's listening in. If you have a place that you can take notes, I want you to just write down anything that you think of when he shares his email subject line, and then we're gonna play his demo. Right? Do we have his demo? Garrett, do I not have your demo? Let's go to somebody else. Sorry. Okay, who else wants to volunteer to go second?
I'll go.
Okay, Danielle. Great. So Danielle, just whenever you're ready, just share your subject line, and then we'll play your demo, and then we'll discuss.
So I kind of have two. Can I say them both?
Of course.
They're so long, right? So I have Middle Eastern Jersey girl, wide vocal age range. And then I have professional voice with some New Jersey edge. But I also used to be a literature professor, and I'm a trained stage actor. So I don't know if that should like take the place of one of these, or I don't know if I did a good job, and I just really want some feedback.
Okay, first of all, you did a great job. Again, you guys, everything that you're doing here, you're already setting yourself apart from the majority of people that submit to agents. So
Okay.
you're doing great. All of those sounded good. Let's listen to Danielle's demo, and then I'd love to hear your input on this. Okay.
Dogs are great, especially Princess Penelope, my Pomeranian. I'm obsessed with making sure that she has all the toys, treats, and unleashed joy her little heart desires. So she gets BarkBox. She loves the toys, and I love that the treats are all crafted by nutritionists. So I know she's peeing on the sofa again. Penelope! Princesses do not. Wow. Yeah. They don't do that either. Get pulled in with addictive style and blown away with the BMW M Engineering. This is the M3. Play in a magical winter playground with LEGO Junior's Disney Frozen's Anna and Elsa. Featuring an easy-to-build ice palace with slide, bench and table, ramp for skiing, rotating fountain, snowball firing catapult, and an opening treasure chest with hidden ice crystals. Throw a party to celebrate summer's favorite frosty treat, homemade ice cream. Get started with tools, ingredients, tempting recipes, and how-to guides at Williams-Sonoma. We have everything you need, from starters to makers, scoops, and even the cherry to go on top. These are the things that matter. Love, kindness, compassion, for the planet, for animal welfare, and for you. Daya.
That was really embarrassing.
Why?
Why?
I don't know. I feel I've never like listened to it with an audience.
Oh, yeah, that would.
So-
I see how that would feel weird and frustrating. But you sounded.
Anyway,
wonderful.
that's my commercial demo.
It's great. Yeah.
I mean, did you guys think that was great? That was awesome. Yeah.
I love dogs
Excellent.
farting in demos.
So, first of all, I want to ask everybody. So she gave two subjects, the Middle Eastern Jersey, and I'm sorry, I didn't write down the rest of it.
Wide vocal age range.
Okay, wide vocal range. And then you gave professional voice with New Jersey.
Edge.
And,
But that's maybe more for like my like corporate kind of stuff.
yeah, okay.
I don't know if that really applies to the commercial one.
So just based on that, I want a raise of hands. Who liked the first one better?
Did you say him again? I'm sorry.
Middle Eastern Jersey girl, wide vocal age range, professional voice with New Jersey edge.
So the first one, raise your hand. Okay. And second one, raise your hand. Okay. So what did you guys feel like when you listened to her demo? What stuck out to you? And like, why would you choose whichever one you chose? You don't have to raise your hand. You can just.
The wide range. She's got a wide range.
The wide range. You like that part? Mm-hmm.
I heard like the edge, no nonsense.
Edge, no nonsense.
And I feel like just including the Middle Eastern, it brings in that ethnicity, that you're encouraging us to put in there. Plus, I feel like anytime you put professional in the subject, I'm like, I think at that point it's got to be a given if you're approaching the agent. So
Yeah.
You mentioned the being a stage actor. I would definitely throw that in after I've heard your demo. I can hear that. Do you know what I mean? Because that would showcase that because you have a good range on your demo.
I got.
I don't have that. So to me, reading that would jump out at me because that isn't the background that I have. So it would be different.
I got there was some high, like good energy, like a pep, like, you know what I mean? I heard the attitude, but it's also, you bring like this fun, energetic sort of thing.
I think you could replace Middle Eastern because I don't think that brought anything to her voice.
Mm-hmm.
Probably some better descriptions, like even in depth, she's kind of got a deep voice.
Yeah.
For a female, so I think that would be a little more colorful than Middle Eastern, which I didn't get from the sound.
You don't hear the Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
That's something that you could put in there in the body, I feel, though.
Yeah.
Just to let people know.
I definitely think that is an important piece of it. Honestly, Danielle, I would even A and B test this with agents. So save the subjects and use one for one agent, one for the other, and see how people respond. So one of the things too that I want to say about the ethnicity is that these days too, it's not as important that you sound like that, because I mean, we can get into all kinds of weird things, but like how do you sound Middle Eastern? Like, is it what people think stereotypically people sound like Middle Eastern? There's sounds for every single type. So it doesn't necessarily fit in some box. But what is important these days is a representation, and that it is very diverse, and that we can represent a lot of different backgrounds. And so which with voiceover, it's hard. It's like you can't see the person on the other end of the mic, but it is important for agents to be like, I want to be able to have a good diversity on my roster. So that is a very important piece, the Middle Eastern, even if it doesn't necessarily, we listen to your demo and it's like, that's a Middle Eastern voice actor, but it is very important. So I definitely agree that either if you put it in your subject or put it in the body of the email, that's really important. One thing that I would say I would ask you guys, I liked what, I can't remember who said that about professional. Megan, was it you about the professional? Yes, I would say that is one of there's a lot of terms that I know that Mike and I have seen a lot from submissions. It's like there's these certain terms that everybody uses. Professional is one of those. Friendly is one of those, like those typical things that they see all the time. While that doesn't mean that you can't use it or like add it into your body, I would say really focus on the things that they probably haven't seen before in a subject, if you can. So I love the New Jersey edition, Danielle. I think that really shows something.
The Jersey Edge or the Jersey Girl, or Jersey Girl with Edge.
Like the New Jersey Edge.
New Jersey, Edge is applied.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember about her demo. Danielle, what do you book mostly?
You booked any commercial work. It's all like business to business and like corporate narration stuff.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm open to commercial work, obviously, but that just hasn't fallen into my life yet.
So I like the wide vocal range, but I would put it in the body of your email.
Okay.
Because I think the things that are going to stand out to people most are the Middle Eastern and Jersey. I'm trying to think if there's any other word that we could add in there to. You used to be a professor, right? That's what
I did. I was. And now I'm doing this.
Yeah. Could you say Middle Eastern Jersey ex-professor?
Middle Eastern.
Jersey ex-professor? Maybe not ex-professor. What do you think, Mike? Or, because ex sounds a little weird.
Former. I mean, it's good for
Former
brevity.
professor?
Yeah. Ex for brevity if you need to, but yeah, former professor.
And you guys, there is not like a set right or wrong on this. I'm just telling you what can we fit in there to give the most, one, to grab the agent's attention, but two, to be able to give the best representation of Danielle too. So that may be something, because professor shows professional already, that you're a professional, right? And Jersey shows like that you can have more of that energy and spunk. Middle Eastern shows some of your background. You're not going to be just a plain everyday voice or whatever. So I think that sounds good. What?
So what do we have so far?
Middle Eastern, Jersey, former professor.
Meets dog mom. Now,
okay.
How did you know that?
Well, first of all, if you're
like on my email, like signature, it's like voice actor, stage actor, dog mom.
Brilliant.
This is why I get paid the big bucks. No, but seriously, in our beginner voiceover intensive class, we have something called essence statements, and it's based off the Sam Christensen workshop that Get Taped has, and that in LA, Sam Christensen was a former casting director. He came up with this process for people to automatically, casting directors, agents, when they see you walk in the room, what is your vibe? What is your essence? What would you typically go out for on camera? Same thing vocally. That's why we have it in the beginner voiceover intensive, and we kind of merge it with this. So if I'm listening to your demo and your very first spot is about the pet thing and you've got a dog, I assume that whoever did your demo does it the same way that we do, got information about you and writes it specifically to you and what you have, then I'm assuming you may have a dog. But even if you didn't, the point of that subject line is communicating you've got the chops to be a mom in the voiceover realm.
Yeah.
And
care.
And yeah, and it showcased that in the first spot that you had. So even though you have this edge, you've got the other end of the spectrum, or in the middle with the mom part. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, actually.
So maybe even instead of the professor, Middle Eastern Jersey dog mom. Yeah, talent. That's short. We can play around with that. And also, guys, I hope that we have enough time. I'd love for you to share some of your email subjects with Lena from People Store when she gets on here. That's going to be the agent. And then that way, you can even just say, hey, would this catch your what do you think about this email subject? And you can get real-time feedback from her.
Yeah, and guys, this is going to be a great time with Lena. So, I mean, ask away. Even stuff that you, don't be afraid that A, it's an agent, and B, I would want to get on with her and People Store. Use this time, even if nothing that you say is most likely going to throw her off. So ask the hard questions. Ask the weird questions. She's used to it. Plus, she's a creative type as well, so she'll love it.
So, Danielle, how do you feel about that?
I feel like we've summed up my identity in 6 words. Clearly.
Yay! That is awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so guys, just so you know, we're going to try and at least get on the right track with every person. Now, as you go, if we want to workshop this even more through emails together, whatever, feel free, because I do want to, we still got a lot to go through, so I may go through fast. So just know, if you don't feel like, oh, I don't know if that's totally nailed down, we can workshop it some more too. So I thought that was great. Thank you, Danielle, for just leading us.
Glad it's over.
Okay, so Garrett, share with us your email subject.
So mine's actually just really, really simple. It's just young guy next door can pass for early to late 20s.
Guy next door. Okay. All right, let's listen to Garrett's sample here.
They say money can't buy happiness, yet every day $4.99 buys you a foot-long Black Forest ham, meatball marinara, spicy Italian, and more. Guess what? That's happiness. Subway. Family is a big part of your child's well-being. Not only are you a vital member of their healthcare team, you are a source of security and comfort. That is why we work together to support your whole family while your child is in our care and after they go home. They say the world doesn't revolve around you. At Pandora, it actually does. Listen anytime, anywhere to music specifically for your taste. Pandora. Delta Community Credit Union offers a full spectrum of business banking services with checking accounts, savings accounts, and merchant services. You can look to Delta Community to keep your business moving forward. Living with a human never gets old. Mine does this thing where she goes around and gets all my toys. She hides them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but then she puts them back in the same basket again. Hello? That's where you put it the last time. Humans are cute like that.
Nice.
Remember that.
Okay, so what did you guys think? Do you feel like his email subject described his voice well?
I think it needs a little more description.
A little more description? Okay.
I feel like if you've got young guy and early to late 20s, like, isn't that kind of saying the same thing sort of twice?
Yep.
It's a little redundant, maybe.
I like it, but what does that make stand out from the other next guy next?
Well, first of all, I do want to say I like how you phrased it, young guy next door, because typically we hear about like girl next door. That's typically a phrase that we hear to describe people. And you're adding young in there, so they already know, okay, great, we don't have as many young guys on our roster or so. But what is there something that is unique about either your background, your vocal talents, hobbies, your interests? Is there anything that may be unique that you haven't shared with us that could potentially
I used to play in a band. I was actually a front man.
Okay. What do you want to do voiceover wise? Like, what would be your goal?
Animation.
Animation.
Yeah.
Okay.
You been to barbecues?
Yeah.
What type of guy are you at barbecues? All your people are around you. Who are you?
The one who eats the most but doesn't look like it.
Socially, how are you?
Awkward.
Awkward? Are you introverted?
Introverted, yeah.
But these are your people that you're around.
Yeah, it's very quiet.
Still, even with people that you're comfortable with. Okay.
So I even think that with this, you could add young, awkward guy next door. And then in the body of immediately say, if you're wondering why I added awkward, here's why. I would talk to anybody about animation or whatever. I'm just throwing some stuff out there. Or like, at a party, I'm the guy that loves everyone but never knows exactly what to say. Maybe that's why I've chosen voiceover as my career, because, I don't have to be out there or whatever. But if you can even just add something in there that's something interesting, or like, I've never heard that awkward guy next door, but also they already have in mind who you are. And we know you. You're not awkward in like it's in a very endearing way, if that makes any sense. Like, if you see yourself as awkward, we see it as endearing.
And I would even, what did you say the subject?
Young, awkward guy next door.
I would even say the loudest, youngest, awkward guy next door, or something like that. Because you've got a very loud voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though you're introverted, you project way more than people I encounter every day.
Right.
And especially with me, mine's more laid back, but you're out there. If you're going to be out there and talking, you're out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it. Anybody else have anything to add? Or you don't have to. I just want to make sure that we get.
But again, these things are, if they're looking, guy next door is very, and especially with young, normally they're looking for the next door neighbor. Yeah. Sometimes they look for the youngest.
Yeah.
So that stands out. But the other stuff will get their attention. And again, the subject line is like your creative endeavor. It's you just looking for that little nuance that's going to stand out from male voiceover talent seeking representation. They're going to look at that,
right?
But that fits with your demo as well.
Totally.
Yes. And you could even have a couple more on there that represent that. But yeah.
Good job, Garrett.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, who wants to go next? Okay, Amy. All right, Amy, share with us your subject.
Okay, this was one of the most challenging parts when I did submit, so this is great. I've just kind of word vomited like little chunks, and then we can go back. Improv queen, audiobook narrator, young mom, essence of Kristen Bell, quirky, trustworthy.
Audiobook and then Kristen Bell.
Essence of Kristen Bell, improv queen, young mom, audiobook narrator, trustworthy, quirky.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's listen to Amy's demo, and then let's see if we can try and fine tune this.
This is my smartwatch. But you know what? It's more than just a smartwatch. It puts my health and my fitness front and center. I move better. Well, I'll tell you, I rest better. Oh, and it reminds me to live my best life. Seriously, can your watch do that? When you have a baby, gentle means everything. Gentle means pure. Gentle means safe. Gentle means love. The new Johnsons. Choose Gentle. Whether you're looking for an alternative against high copay cost or seeking treatment without insurance, we've got you covered at foryourhealth.com. Oh yes, sip your way into a summer of so much yes! Starbucks new summer flavors. Strawberry funnel cake frappuccino and caramel ribbon crunch frappuccino. So good, so much yes. Woodbridge is the wine that goes with whatever you want it to. It's made for haven't seen each other in over a year and a half pours and weekends that start when you decide they do. Woodbridge, wine your way.
Love that, Amy. So, Amy, I do want to just say a couple of things that I really love about your subject vomit is improv. That's huge. Let's definitely figure out how we can incorporate that in there, just because so many commercial breakdowns ask for that improv experience. I like the quirkiness. I like the young mom. We just need to be more specific, like something that's a little bit more interesting and specific. And I like Kristen Bell too, because that's another person that is in a lot of breakdowns. Let's see.
I'm not saying this is what it would be or should be, but it's almost like Kristen Bell's younger quirky sister. Could be concise enough, but it leaves out. I'd love to put in improv, but that's.
No, I love what you said. We can definitely add in improv too in the body.
Okay.
But I loved what Mike said. I thought that's because also when you're comparing yourself to another talent, if it's just in the subject, you don't want it to look like you are Kristen Bell. So I like how he said, Kristen Bell's younger quirky sister.
Yeah, I like that too. That's cute. Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Fun, yeah. Okay, who wants to volunteer next?
I'll do it. You can do mine.
Okay, John and then Abby. Great.
I mean, I have a couple more if you want to list, if you want to.
Love it.
I don't know, because I feel like you're right. Like you can workshop some of these things, right? Like
totally.
see what works best. Let me see.
Okay, John, what you got?
I have just Jersey enough without being obnoxious.
Jersey enough.
Just Jersey enough.
I would buy a T-shirt that, even though I'm not Jersey, that just says "Just Jersey enough." It's like instead of "Kin enough," it's like Jersey enough. Just Jersey.
And then I got one more.
Okay.
The guy who sounds like his vocal cords have been dragged over a cheese grater.
I love that. That's a winner.
I
a little long, but they'll get it. Hopefully.
Vocal cords dragged over a cheese grater.
It's a little long, but it's hilarious. Even if you don't use it in a subject, John, definitely use that in the body of the email.
Okay.
That is something that nobody's gonna forget. Just the visual of that. I love it so much. I love it. Okay, let's listen to John's demo real quick. And
Chevy Silverado Trail Boss. When you have a 2-inch lift, when you have Goodyear DuraTrack tires, when you have all that, the last thing you need is a road.
Hey, that's my auto
Hyundai has options to shop for a vehicle online, and the participating dealer will deliver it right to you. Get 0 APR for up to 84 months on the 2020 Tucson, plus make no payments for 4 months. Visit HyundaiUSA.com.
Nice.
They're just auto. Does it make a difference what brand they are? Does it matter who installs them? We think so. Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, genuine part.
Sorry, John, you said that was your auto one.
Yeah, I have a commercial.
Yeah. I know, and I'm so sorry because I wasn't thinking ahead enough. I had cat and pool things,
That's okay.
pool demos. So, but I do think we have somewhat of a good idea.
Yeah.
Sound like okay. So what is?
Can we get them to email it to us? Though?
Yeah, I think I have it.
Oh, you do.
Yeah,
You pulled.
just tiny.
Oh, time-wise. Okay.
Yeah.
I was listening. I'm like, man, that's a lot of car spots for a demo.
Yeah. It's all good.
Sorry about that. Well,
Please tell me though on your regular. We'll listen to it later, but please tell me that you have more of a pulled back.
100%. That was that actually demo was self-made, so I did a.
Okay, great.
He does.
Great.
Yeah,
okay.
He's got it. He's good. Okay, anybody else have any input on John's subjects? I feel like all of those were really good. What did y'all think?
Yeah, I think
I
you
thought they were
nailed
very
it.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. And I hear that voice, on television with the car commercials.
Yeah.
Rugged SUVs or trucks or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. Yeah. Yeah, great job, John.
Yeah, and just some other stuff, John, to think about. And I'm not saying put this in the subject, but voice that stands out, unique. You can even use the Charlie Day Mafia thing.
Right.
Anything like that is just going to get attention. I don't think you'll have a problem. Like I love the dragger with a cheese grater. You can just put that out, and somebody's going to open it. They'll be like, "What?"
Yeah.
That's what we're going for.
I'm actually secretly jealous that I can't. Like I got to amp up my cigars and whiskey for this. Good job, John.
Gosh.
Thank you.
I'm not going to play these for like Nina or anything like that, but I just wanted everybody to have an idea of like when you submit to an agent and your demo's included in there, if it like reflects your subject or Okay, so Abby is up next.
This is very challenging. I had a lot of just like attributes, but I had a little bit of a hard time putting them together. And then I found a couple things that sort of made me laugh, and that's important to me.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm a dog mom, I'm an aunt, theater queen, I'm a mimic, I love to travel, blah, blah, blah. So the two sort of three main ones I came up with were down-to-earth diva, loves dogs, will travel, and leading lady, award-winning friend, or leading lady, crisis-solving queen.
Okay, what was the middle one again?
Leading lady, award-winning friend, or crisis-solving queen. And if this was pulled from my website, it's not the order that's on my demo that I use. I switched through the spots.
Gotcha. Okay. And we're not critiquing like demo sound or anything like that. It's more of just like
just the like feel of it.
Yeah.
I wanted a different one to start it. So
okay. Gotcha. Demo's Abby. It's Demo's Abby. It's Abby's demo.
Pardon the dog butt humans, but at BarkBox, we just want to give your dog something they love. And since we can't teleport our monthly box of treats and toys into your living room, we're settling for the one thing that every dog loves. Another dog's butt. Sweet, sweet dog butt. We're here for the hard way, the long way. Every climb and ridgeline, to every knob and any element. We're here for starting at the bottom and turning the one way in into 4 trips out. We're here to hunt. How do you get clean? At Risewell, we believe oral hygiene should be natural and safe, without nasty toxins. Our natural mineral flavors will have you feeling fresh all day. Time for a mineral clean. Time to Risewell. My name is Janine Jacobs, and I'm married to a tosser turner. He can't fall asleep, and he keeps me awake. Then I heard about the IKEA mattresses. So affordable and 20% off. And now we can both sleep easy. You turn off the shower and you see it. That ugly mildew stain. You cleaned it with your bathroom cleaner, but it's been hiding all along below the surface where bathroom cleaners can't reach. But Tilex can. Tilex's deep cleaning formula penetrates the grout to get mildew stain clean down to its roots. Get to the root of the problem with Tilex. It's like having 4 car seats, except you just buy one. The Graco Forever DLX 4-in-1, built for your always changing child. #Mom wins.
Love it. It sounds great, Abby.
Yeah,
Sounds
what are you
so
waiting for?
good. Yeah.
I know, right?
And
So-
sorry, what was the third one again?
Crisis solving queen, because there's like a problem solving element, and that's
Yeah.
like very much who I am. And as I was thinking about, well, what is actually reflected in my demo, I was like, oh, actually, there's a lot of like problems I'm solving in the demo.
Yeah, I love that. You said you're a mimic. Do
Yes.
you do like celebrities, or what do you?
I can do impressions, I can do accents, things like that. I don't have anything like at the top of my list because I don't like work on them, and I probably should.
Yeah.
And it's hard to gauge what you sound like, right? So I've had people be like, oh, you could totally be a voice match for this person, this person. I'm like, could I really? So that's something I want to kind of draw out and figure out more of for myself. But that's what that is.
Yeah, totally fine. I was just wondering that, because that is something that if you do like impressions of certain people, that may be something to include, maybe more in the body of the email.
Yeah.
But that's something that may be really helpful and important to an agent. I was drawn to like the leading lady award-winning friend thing, and part of the reason why is because the friend is something that's so common in a breakdown. Is like, we want somebody that sounds like you're talking to a friend. They want to be your best, it's your best friend or whatever. So I think that that's really important to say. And sometimes, guys, when we're doing the subjects or even the describing yourself in the body of the email, even if you feel like this is something that everybody is, you just have to figure out a unique way to say it, because that's what is really important. So even if it's like, yeah, everybody's looking for a friend, or there's a ton of people out there, but award-winning friend, that's a different way to describe it, So I really like that. And I like the leading lady, because you do have, in your voice, it's got an authority in it.
Yeah.
Yes. So I really like that.
And maybe award-winning mom friend, because the demo, along with the authoritative with the leading lady, you've also got the kindness of a mom, and so you speak to moms in that way. So, because it's more, the example is more intimate, more, caring. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to work in, like friend or aunt or mom. Like I'm not a mom.
Yep.
Got big mom energy.
And again,
that's a good, write that down.
Big mom energy.
Big mom energy.
That's
write
it.
that down.
Okay.
BME, are you kidding me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And again, it doesn't have to have everything that you and we are. It's just to get them to open up the email, because you can go into all that stuff within the body. Not a lot. We'll get to that, but yeah, big mom energy. Oh crap!
I love that. I could even.
I wish I could use that.
Big dad energy can mean like a lot of things. So like
between you and John's.
I'll describe you to other people like that. He's really good, BME.
They're like, why didn't you pick big dad energy?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think of it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Abby, that was great.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah,
great.
Love
I also wanted to mitigate the like leading lady like diva thing, because I can be such a diva, but everyone's lucky that I'm not actually a diva, but I'm really good at playing them.
But then
I'm really good at playing them. So I wanted to get that. So I feel like leading lady is a good sort of sum up. And if it's like leading lady, big mom energy, I feel like that mitigates it. And it's like, oh, but she also has the like warmth of wanting to take care of people.
Totally. And I do like the leading lady, because I really was thinking about that. But when I heard your demo, I was like, she is a leading lady. Like, your voice reflects that. So I think that's great.
Yeah, because leading lady to me says, okay, she can do the dramatic, but she can also do the funny. Your full range, it encapsulates it. Yeah.
I was so worried about this
Hey, you should send out some stuff to agents.
Well, now that I have a subject line, I can.
They're like, right now, get on your phone.
So good, Abby. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, who is next? We got we got some still to go through. Okay, Megan.
Sorry, finding my mute button. Okay, so I had a couple, and one of them was sassy and fun mid-30s friend, mid-Atlantic female.
Sorry,
And
say that again, Megan.
sassy and fun mid-30s friend, mid-Atlantic female. And then I also had older sister vibe with positive upbeat presence.
Megan, real quick, what do you typically book?
Mostly corporate narration type stuff, explainers and things like that. And randomly I get a lot of podcast intros.
You do? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear that.
I'm not going to say anything yet. Let's listen to Megan.
Wait. Megan, I'm sorry. I write very slowly. What was your second one?
Older sister vibe with positive upbeat presence.
Got it.
BME. Okay.
With 100% college tuition coverage for employees, we do our best to help our people become their best. Starbucks, search it, and we can take you there, flying you to destinations all over the world with just a click. Book that trip to Barcelona at United.com. We believe in possibilities at Texas Children's. As the nation's largest women's and pediatric healthcare system, we believe that all lives can be changed for the better. The performance R range. It's an R thing. From VW. The sandwich makers at Jimmy John's bring you the new, irresistibly decadent fudge chocolate brownie. And if you're saying that's not a sandwich, then what about now? These lemons will make Deep Eddy lemon vodka. Then more will grow. That's how lemons work. Very impressive. With Wells Fargo Small Business Checking, you can bank without missing a beat.
Loved it. Okay, I'm going to open it to if anybody else wants to say something, but I wanted to say real quick, Megan, that podcasting, that's a huge keyword. I would put that in the subject line because a lot of the breakdowns are asking for like, hey, we want this to sound like it's just a podcast host or it's just somebody that's on a podcast, like very natural and real. So I think that would be a really big thing, but I don't necessarily like what I have right here, but just as a suggestion, like your favorite podcast host, or I wanted to incorporate something about like almost like if you and your best friend had a podcast together, or I also can listen to you all day. Like you've got a very soothing but upbeat voice. Like it doesn't sound like you're not going to put me to sleep, but it's just like, yeah, I don't think I'd ever get tired of that voice, you know? So let's see.
I think there's also like a cheekiness to it. Like I know you have but like there was like this hint of like wink wink kind of thing. So I liked like adding that sauciness into it.
Yeah,
I heard that.
I love that, Danielle, because I agree with you. I saw the sassy. I'm like, I don't know if that's the word to describe it, but I like the cheeky, like with the wink.
I like sauce, but that's just
sauce. A little sauce. Toast with some sauce on the side.
I like the big sister vibes idea. And
I
think
totally.
I think older sister to me sounds a little bit more formal and big sister sounds more fun. So that maybe you don't need to add like positive upbeat presence, but like I think big sister vibes is very accurate. I like that.
Cheeky big sister, just combining those maybe.
Yeah, I like that.
And I have to agree with Heidi. There is something very calming and almost like you're the therapist. Like if I'm in a stressful situation and I'm stressed out on a plane, I'm having anxiety, could I put you in my ears, please? Because and you could calm me down. Yeah, there is definitely something like therapy, relaxing vibes. But like Heidi said, not falling asleep. But it's nice to listen to.
Yeah, I like that. Megan, I may even workshop yours a little bit more. Okay. Think through it and see if I can come up with anything else too that's really
And now that I have those, I'll still play on my end too. So.
Yeah. But definitely mention the podcast that you do podcast intros and outros in the body of your email because that's huge. That's a keyword that's good. Love it.
Yeah.
I wish I was an agent. I would just bring you guys all on. Okay, who's up next? Okay, Jillian, what you got?
Okay, this is a little tricky for me, but I did optimistic cruise mom trapped in a medical world.
Oh, oh my god!
She just wants to get away. All right, who's going next?
Oh my gosh! I know, really? Like seriously, Jillian. Okay, here we go.
Fantastic things start to happen when you step aboard a princess cruise. How does it all happen? Making sure you feel taken care of. That's what a princess cruise is all about. Tomato, fruit or vegetable. Does it really matter? Elevate the tomato with Bertolli extra virgin olive oil. Why don't babies come with a manual? As a parent, you can't control everything, but for the things you can, you should. That's why The Honest Company was created. That way, you can focus on what really matters. When you need some of the brightest minds in medicine, where biotech innovates daily, where physicians doing world-changing research are the ones providing care, there's only one Mass General Brigham. Your goals, your future, your dreams, these things are none of our business because your life is private. And unlike other tech companies, we think your internet should be too. Protect your privacy online for free at DuckDuckGo.
Oh my gosh, I can totally see the cruise mom way to describe that. I would say that maybe you could shorten, instead of optimistic, just say fun cruise mom.
I was gonna say cruise director mom.
Or cruise
'Cause
director mom.
Cruise directors are always fun.
Yeah.
But fun is a shorter word if you need more space.
Yeah, either one of those I think would work. I was trying to figure out how to incorporate the medical world into that. The only thing I could think of is either like a fun cruise mom. I kept wanting to say like fun cruise mom by day, nurse by night or something. That I don't know if that totally makes sense. I just felt.
What about trapped in a doctor's office or something?
The only thing about that is that I want to establish her as the expert.
Oh, okay.
She's the doctor. You know, like she's either the doctor or knows the medical lingo or whatever.
What if you did like fun cruise mom with a scalpel?
That may scare me a little bit.
I mean, it could be bad.
So yeah.
I love it, John. Every idea is a good idea. Love it. Oh my gosh.
Fun cruise with a scalpel. That's a show I'd watch.
Okay.
I know. I'd watch. I'd be happy to narrate it.
Of Dexter.
Yeah. I mean, you could say that, Jillian, and then like that first sentence on there go, listen, I know that sounds probably weird, but this is why. Because I have medical history and background, you know, so I can be both in my voiceover, you know.
Yeah.
I love that though. I definitely would stick with either the cruise director mom or the fun cruise mom or something like that and add in the medical part. Yeah. And again, if it is, this may be stuff to workshop. You know, some people may be like, what? But just make sure if it is a what at the subject, that first line when you get in there, say like, hey Lena, I know you may be going like, what do you mean with the scalpel? And then go into it and describe it. That just automatically establishes a relationship. It shows that there's a person on the other side of that email, you know, that's so important. So
Thank you.
That's such a great direction, Jillian.
Thanks, John.
Love it.
Good job. Megan, yours is still in my brain. I'm like Heidi, I want to workshop that a little bit more.
I know. I'm gonna figure it out. Okay, Darren.
It's so boring. I just would love. I hear all these great examples, and it's just so generic. I just said a young, energetic dad with a genuine, relatable vibe.
Okay, what
genuine, relatable vibe.
But it's in the. First of all, it's not bad. That's a good subject, Darren. We're just trying to figure out maybe if there's some other unique ways to say those things. But that's all true about you. That's a great way to describe you. So just feel good about what you have.
Okay.
And sorry, you said with a genuine, relatable
vibe.
Okay, cool. All right. Here's Darren's demo.
I'm at the airport doing some customer research for Delta Airlines. Excuse me, ma'am. Why do you fly Delta?
Oh, like everyone, it's that overhead air blowy thing.
Really? Wisconsin Lottery's noticed that no two players are quite alike, which is why we have an incredible variety of scratch games, like Casino Action, the new $2 instant scratch games.
This is NASCAR! This is you! And this is us! Team Hot Wheels! When there's a race, we're in it!
To gold account checking with free internet bill pay and reduced rates on loan. East Coast, West Coast, the dreaded 7-10 split. Who cares? I have UPS, the big brown ball, so to speak. Not the weak little 8-pounder reserved for children under 10. And now I own my own company, all because of the experience I've gained in the Navy. So do what I did. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY or log on to Navy.com. Accelerate your life. Navy.
Love it. Okay, what do you guys think? What are some unique ways that you could describe Darren's voice?
Crisp, yet growly.
I definitely got the dad vibes.
Yeah.
And I also got like just a feeling of like, this is the guy you call.
Yeah.
Like, something went wrong in your house, call Darren.
Yes.
He will know what to do.
Did you already say high energy?
No, high energy. Okay, great.
So what would you, if you were to
Like,
put that into a word? Like,
well, it's something about being trustworthy.
Yep.
But there's an immediacy to like the guy that you call.
I put fixer. Like he sounds like somebody that's like, what's going on? You can't figure out the plumbing thing. Maybe we'll call Darren, see if he knows what it's like. Oh, my son doesn't know how to do the baseball or whatever. Let's see if Darren knows it. There's something about your voice that shows like you could just be there for the games, for the neighbor that needs to borrow a tool, you know what I mean? Like just there to help.
What about jack of all trades?
Ooh.
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting. Somebody called me once. Oh my God, what was it? And I had to go look it up. Renaissance.
Oh,
Man.
Renaissance man?
Yeah. Seems kind of like a jack of all trades.
Yeah. You're a poet, you're an artist, you're a
A little more
machinist.
fancy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and guys, start paying attention to how people describe you, either because typically a lot of times your essence on your outside is going to match your vocals. Some people it doesn't. But just start paying attention to when people say things about you like that, because you can always utilize it, especially in stuff like this.
It's a little bit like you're the counterpart to the big mom energy. You're like expert dad.
Yeah.
Like there's something about that.
It's funny that you said that because I wrote down relatable dad energy, on-call friend, neighbor, and fixer.
Yeah. So there's something there.
That exactly. I love that. I wonder if you could combine the jack of all trades and you guys tell me because I don't know if you saw this, if you know what it means. What about dad of all trades?
That's
so like just like a take on the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of something like dad of all trades, but something along the lines of and a guy you could go have a beer with or something like that. Just that's like it would tie in with the relatable thing that you were talking about and genuine. But that's a lot to put in there.
It's a good neighbor, like the neighbor you call.
Yeah.
Or dad of all trades.
The neighbor you call to have a beer or to fix a fence or something. I know I'm looking at Mike, like maybe he has the.
I feel like I'm almost there. I turned 52, y'all, and it takes a lot more to get there.
Got you by a year.
It's a lot of these all in a row.
So you know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about.
know what you're talking
I might have to come back to it, but yeah, there's a few things there.
Mm-hmm. All of that stuff would be good though. Even if you just use like jack of all trades.
I mean, there's almost like the term fixer, I know how you meant it, but you think the fixer, I think of Ray Donovan.
Right.
And you're fixing you're hiding the dead bodies. And your voice has that, like that gravel that's in it. So it kind of speaks to that. So it's almost like the fixer meets dad of all trades.
I like that.
There's some fun uncle in there too.
Oh,
like the high energy. Yeah.
Funkle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they call him now, because I am one.
Fixer Funkle.
Fixer Funkle.
That's what I call me.
Dad of all trades.
It was not
Fixer
too fun
Funkle.
last Saturday when we were babysitting.
Oh,
but,
no.
It's okay.
Let's just say poop got on the wall.
Poop got on.
I have a song I'm going to send you now about pooping in the potty.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'd love to hear that. Great. Yeah. Darren, there's some great stuff in there, and we can even like fine tune it a little bit more too.
Okay.
So, yeah, good job.
Okay.
Funkle.
Love it.
The
Love
Funkle, the Fixer, and the Jack of all the dad of all trades.
It sounds like a book.
I know,
Weird
right?
book.
Right. Weird.
And if it was an improv, it'd be like, sounds like a song.
Yeah.
The Funkle. the
Okay,
Fixer.
who else wants to go next? Who's it?
Macy, Juanita, anybody in person?
I'll go.
Okay,
Yay.
Macy. Macy's up. All right, Macy, share with us your subject.
Okay, so I have like a few bullet points after my
Gen Z African American, gravelly female, and my bullet points are responsible party friend, quiet and secretly unhinged.
Love
Okay,
it.
sorry, Gen Z African American female.
Responsible party friend, quiet and secretly unhinged.
Okay, great. Let's listen to Macy.
Welcome to Atlanta, the cultural capital where the world meets in the soul of the New South. We live in a world where trust matters. It's trust in every purchase, post, and application that keeps us connected. This is not a dog, and we're not entirely sure what this is, but this is a dog, a beagle to be exact. If it barks, it's AKC. Let's start a revolution of social change, of inclusive conversations, of doing better. After all, change starts with each one of us. It takes a real estate expert to find the right 2,000 square feet in a neighborhood where kids can be kids and grow up not so fast, please. And it all starts with the realtor and the doors you open together. This year, this is a statement, a declaration. It's the intersection of raw and fine, of laid back and hold on, a standard ride mode and anything but a standard ride.
Great. So, Macy, I'm going to tell you, you already have gold in here in a couple of things. Gen Z, huge. So glad you put that in there. African American, also good that you put that in there. You can test too. I would test trying to see if you do AA or or just spell it out, African American. AA just will allow you to add more stuff to that subject. And I love the responsible party friend. It shows a lot about, I think it reflects well on your demo. It reflects well on you. The responsible part too, I love that term for your voice because there's something in your voice that comes across as like, I don't know, if you need something done, Macy's the person to do it. Like it, and there is even though it's your Gen Z, like you're younger, so, but you also sound very responsible. Not that Gen Z isn't, sorry, I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just saying like, when people think of like a younger person or whatever, I just like the fact that you have that responsible, because it's just you and it does describe you. It gives an element of authority, even though you're young. That's what I should have said at the very beginning. Sorry, I got there. It took a little while to get there. But that's what I really, really love. So even if you want to do like Gen Z African American female plus responsible party friend, or and I would just do like, if you do plus, just add the symbol, don't add in an extra word in there.
And it may not be as flashy as some of the other ones that would be considered essence statements, but your category is needed.
Yes.
Like over the past 3 to 4 years, we've heard from agents, I'm looking for African Americans.
Gen Z.
Young. Male and female.
Yes.
So do you have a home studio?
I do.
Great. Even more, put that in the body. That it's whatever you got. And that's easy to search for then when they're looking for your category.
The Gen Z, I'm sorry I didn't even mention that, but that's huge. Just because it shows that you're young already in a really short way to say it. But also just, that category, even in the breakdowns, like people are looking for like a Gen Z. What does a Gen Z voice sound like? I don't know, but that's what they put in there. So, you know, Juanita, right? You know what a Gen Z voice sounds like, right?
Well, there's different types.
There's different types. I love it. Great job, Macy. I love it. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, who all do we have left? Juanita, Tina, Jessica. Okay, let's do some virtuals. Who wants to go? Don't all at once, please. Jessica. Okay, Jessica, give us your subject when you get a chance.
Oh, okay. It's bright, nonchalant, sarcastic, warm, African American millennial friend.
You said, bright, nonchalant.
Warm, African American millennial friend.
Okay, let's listen to, let's see. Okay, I'm going to play the audition that you sent.
Jessica Boyer. It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, pick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog, delivered to your door and packed precisely portioned for your dog. It's simple, real meat and veggies, with all the nutrients dogs need. Dog food that's real food. It's an idea whose time has come. Real food, made fresh, delivered. It's time, yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog. Delivered to your door and packed precisely portioned for your dog. It's simple, real meat and veggies with all the nutrients dogs need. Dog food that's real food. It's an idea whose time has come. Real food, made fresh, delivered.
Nice, Jessica. Okay, Jessica, I have a couple of questions because I think I got an idea of your voice just from that audition, but I think you probably have some other types of range too. So can you give us just some words that your coaches have used to describe your voice?
Yeah. I've gotten clear. I've gotten ease. I've gotten like your cool best friend, not like cool as in like popular cool, it's just like cool, like you can talk to them like about anything and they can give you advice. I've gotten youthful, and that's like basically what I can think of top of my head.
Yeah, I love that. Some of the things that stuck out to me were youthful. Even though you say millennial, that can be a wide range of sounds. So even like combining something like youthful millennial, because that gives a better idea of your sound. Clear is another one keyword that I heard because that is in a lot of breakdowns. They want a clear voice. And then I just put, now this is just because of the audition, but I've just put sweet. There is a sweetness
That's what I wrote down.
about your voice that comes through.
Yeah.
So even if you wanted to do sweet, clear, millennial, African-American female, that's going to automatically show like, or maybe youthful, sweet, clear, sweet, clear, youthful, millennial, African-American. That could work. Sweet, clear, youthful, millennial, African-American.
I can hear baby food.
Baby food, totally, right?
I can hear it.
Soothing,
baby food.
kind, sweet.
Yeah.
Juanita's about to book you for her baby food.
If baby food was a voice.
Like the best type. Go ahead,
I was trying to think of it, who she sounds exactly like in my head. It was, have you seen The Bear on
The
Hulu?
Bear, yeah.
The chef.
Yes.
She sounds exactly the female chef.
Yes.
She sounds exactly. I was trying to remember her name.
Oh,
Sydney.
that's a good. Ayo, yes. Put her name down as a celebrity reference because she does appear in breakdowns that they look for her type of voice. She's very big right now in some of the breakdowns.
Ayo and Deborah Beery.
And a Beery,
And Mary. Yeah, as soon as she started talking, I was like, oh my gosh, sounds just like her.
That's great, Darren. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, that's one we haven't dived into. Well, you have a couple episodes, but I haven't.
I don't know her.
It's so good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
It's very intense.
It's good.
Each season is like different. The character arcs are just
so good. How do you feel about that, Jessica?
Yeah, thank you so much. I've watched The Bear, but I've never recognized like her voice as, oh, we're so similar. But I can like sense it now, not just like her voice.
You may even test out the subject line of like celebrity reference in your subject or whatever. How do you say her name again?
I think it's
Ayo. Or like sounds like or something like that, because that would, yeah.
She also has like a quirky intonations to her voice, which I think I also kind of picked up with her.
Yeah, totally. I could see that for sure. Yeah, and I think that probably plays into the sarcastic thing that you mentioned, you know? I think that the way that you say certain things, the tone could totally lean into that. So you seem so sweet to be sarcastic, but I could hear it when Darren even said that that's probably part of what it is. It's
a Sour Patch Kid.
Sour Patch. And they're sweet.
They're sweet.
Good job, Jessica. Okay, who else on virtual wants to go? All right, Jason, share with us your email subject.
Okay. Let's see. New Yorker with just enough vocal attitude.
Ooh, vocal attitude.
And then I have. Do you want another one or?
Yeah.
Okay. New Yorker with a quirky vibe and rasp.
Okay, great. Let's play Jason's demo.
Switching things up with Red's Apple Ale? Good. Switching channels during Sports Center? Bad. Red's Apple Ale. Crisp like an apple, brewed like an ale. Unlock the Cineverse with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Every square blasted with Cinedust. One way to get performance, you build it. A heavy-duty, durable steel frame and a smooth steering system for easy maneuverability. The Craftsman Pro Series riding mower. Because who said cars get to have all the fun? Your favorite Marvel heroes have entered the world of Gujitsu and are gillier than ever. Squish them, stretch them, twist them. There are 7 Gujitsu Marvel heroes you can collect, each sold separately. Shop our Holly Best deals now at Target. Save on select Beats headphones, TVs, laptops, and more, with new deals starting Thursday at Target. Booking a family vacation in a Verbo means leaving all the craziness behind. Well, maybe not all of it. Crazy feels good when it has room to spread out. Book today and get away together with Verbo. As an esteemed food critic, it's not often I'm asked to try chips, but today I'm going to be sampling Doritos Flaming Hot Limon flavor. Let us begin. Oh my, full body at first. Ooh, wow, bursting with flaming hot spice. Yes, freaking awesome.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing, Jason. Oh my gosh. I never would have thought New York until you said that, and then I listened to the demo.
Yeah.
You sound like Michael Rappaport. Is that his name?
There it is. Thank you.
Write that down, Jason. You don't have got that before.
Yes.
I've got another sound-alike that's like exact.
Yeah.
You sound and have the same vibe as Bob Odenkirk
Oh yes.
from
I've
Breaking
heard that too.
Bad. Yeah, so good.
There you go. If Michael Rappaport and Bob Odenkirk had a son.
Yep. I love that. I think that is probably a strong. I like what you had originally. I think it was accurate. I think I loved the rasp. That's a key word that people look for. So I would include that in the body of your email. But I like the fact of the Michael Rappaport and Bob Odenkirk because everybody knows who they are. They automatically get an idea of your voice. Yeah, I love that.
And I think it's a good merging of those two because Michael Rappaport's a little bit higher and Bob Odenkirk's lower. So you're kind of in between both those guys to my ears. But
Thank you.
The rasp is huge.
Yeah.
And especially with the demo because it shows, I was thinking that there's a way to go with like the toy part within your demo, but that just totally encapsulates it with those two guys.
You guys, great job. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness gracious. I love that. This is awesome. How are you feeling, Jason?
No, it's all good. Yeah.
It's interesting about his voice, and it's just when I heard you live, immediately I thought like a fun frat boy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that in the demo.
Yeah.
Which is you've got some range there
I could
to
totally
play
hear that.
with.
Cool.
Thank
Thank you.
Fun. Yeah.
I think he has a great voice for animation.
Yeah.
I'm working on some of that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say too, just based off Jason's stuff, another reason why this is really important to do is because this gives your agent, your future agent that you're submitting to, a visual reference of your voice. That's so much easier to remember than a name or having to go back through and listen to demos. And so when they have this like unique thing that they're thinking about your voice, it's so easy that when a breakdown comes in for them to immediately think of you. So, and the email is just the first kind of hindrance that we need to get over to getting those opportunities and booking the opportunities. So I love this. This is great.
If you do have, for everybody, if you do have like big mom energy, if you are in any of these industry pro workouts, feel free to, if it makes sense, to work it into the conversation. You know, when they ask you, okay, tell us your name and then who you are, and it's easy to work that into a sentence and people be like, oh yeah, I kind of see it. You know, it's just one more way to stand out in those little industry events for casting or agents and whatnot.
Yeah, totally. Okay, we've got Tina left on virtual and then Juanita will wrap us up.
I actually don't have a commercial demo. I have a very old narration demo. So if you want to use my audition that I submitted, that's fine. For me, what I wrote, I can say what people have said about me, but I agree with a lot of the people who have gone before who have said it's hard to describe yourself. It's certainly really helpful to hear what other people are saying about your sound. So I wrote newsy, bilingual, professional sounding, announcer, narrator. So that was more of just a list. So I think it needs work to bring it more to life.
And what's the other language that you speak?
Spanish.
I would put that in there.
Yeah, totally.
Specifically English, English and Spanish speaking or whatever. Bilingual and then in parentheses Spanish.
Yeah, SP.
SP, yeah. Just trying to think of the.
Or I mean, just as long as you put in bilingual, they'll see it in the body. You can say I speak fluent Spanish.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to make sure that people.
They
So
search.
yeah, because Spanish is going to be the top different language that agents are going to want you to have on there. If you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to include that. These are just some suggestions, but nothing is set in stone. Part of the goal here is just how can we get somebody's attention? And one of the ways to get that attention is like, what do they need? But I think also that would be a really good conversation to have with an agent and share with them your experience and just tell them that I don't want to get like put in some box or something like that.
I go after less and less. So that's why I'm between two minds about putting it in. I mean, I'm putting it in because, your overall advice is it's a good skill to have and to share.
But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised when you get an agent.
When I move out of that.
But I definitely think the bilingual thing is huge. If you feel comfortable putting that in the subject, you don't even have to say Spanish. That may give you a chance to create that relationship with the agent. So it's not right out of the gate them automatically assuming something about you, if that makes sense. And
newsy professional.
And then I love the newsy. Let's listen. Wait, we haven't listened to your.
Listen to my.
Yep.
It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dog fresh food from the farmer's dog. Delivered to your door in packs precisely portioned for your dog. It's simple, real meats and veggies, with all the nutrients dogs need. Dog food that's real food. It's an idea whose time has come. Real food, made fresh, delivered. It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog, delivered to your door in packs precisely portioned for your dog. It's simple, real meats and veggies, with all the nutrients dogs need. Dog food that's real food. It's an idea whose time has come. Real food, made fresh, delivered.
Tina, the thing that stood out most about your voice is it's a voice that makes me want to lean in.
Intimate.
Yeah.
So that's what came to my mind.
Intimate and warm, which is so cool because if you just see news or newsy, that shows something else. So it could almost be something like the news anchor that makes you want to lean in, or
news anchor who cares.
Yeah. The only news anchor you want to hear bad news from or something like that. I don't know. That may be too much. What were you going to say, Juanita?
Convincing.
Convincing. Yeah.
Like you would, maybe I'll try this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, dog food.
Yeah.
There's something really clean about your voice too. I don't know, like that's like the word that comes to mind. It's like, so it's not like, it's like clean, like water. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes any sense.
It's funny that you say that on my narration demo. I do have a spot about water, so that's kind of funny.
I love that.
Interesting. And actually, it's taken a lot to get to what you guys are describing. I mean, I'm now sitting down. I've always done voiceover standing up, and I haven't been able to get to that really kind of relaxed, laid back sound. And so I've been playing around with sitting and recording to get to what you guys are saying. So I appreciate hearing that. Maybe it's working. It's funny how you get a different sound depending on when you do different things.
Yeah. I really love that. I think that maybe there's a simpler way to say it, and feel free if anybody else has any ideas, but something along the lines of, I do like the news part, and I love thinking like either adding the warmth or intimate or lean in, because that also shows it's like, okay, here's the thing is if you say news reporter, you automatically get an idea in your head of what you're going to get. But with that lean in or intimate or warmth, it's like, oh, okay, I want to listen into this. What is this? And then if you want to add in bilingual, you can. But if not, you can also put it in the body.
I mean, I've always felt as an asset. Lately, it's felt not so much, but
sure,
that's just my experiences of late.
And I can totally understand that. I do think it would be a really good thing to have a conversation with an agent and just share that with them, because that's very important. So
thank you. I appreciate the feedback from everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Great job, Tina. Okay, Juanita.
All right.
Take us home.
I'm gonna take you home, but I'm gonna take you to another home.
Okay.
I don't have that
But you have
commercial that
a
just
demo.
sent me, but if you want to listen to something, okay.
Yes. Okay. So first of all, share with us your email subject.
Not retired. Modern day grandmother. Loving, sense of humor. Persona, feel, touch, and see. Middle aged to older adult. African American, New York lingo. That's nice.
I love it already. Okay, Juanita, can you play your demo for us? Try and turn it up as loud as possible on your phone so everybody online can hear.
Okay, I did. I turned it up.
Okay, great.
My mornings, let's say busy, hectic. Did I say crazy? That's why I always start my day with McDonald's coffee. Look, you're my daughter, and I love you, but you have to stop making these horrible choices. Now either get the pumps or the boots, but let's get moving. With pioneering performance and outstanding luxury, the Mercedes S-Class stands alone. Mutual funds, slow growth, I gotta diversify. What does diversify even mean? I gotta get a broker I can trust. When my husband said he wanted to try something new, I thought, uh-oh. But turns out I love camping. Airstream, find your next adventure. Oh my gosh, we went to high school together.
Yeah.
Didn't we date?
Uh-huh.
Did we?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thanks.
There are good community events and there are the not so good, like the potluck you went to last year. Every family brought cream peas. But there is one event in your community that's all good. The American Cancer Society Relay for Life. Cream peas, optional.
Juanita, that's great. That's funny.
It's funny.
Yeah. So I'm going to open it up if anybody else has anything. But honestly, first of all, I love the not retired part. I would add that into the body. I would start it off by just saying, hey, I may be a grandma, but I am not retired. Put that in caps. I thought that was so funny. I just even love African American modern day grandmother as the subject. It automatically, it reflects your demo. It's something that they don't have enough. There's not going to be a lot of competition for you, which is good. You know, they're going to need you. They're not going to have a lot of people on their roster like that. So if you can add that in there, that in and of itself is a great subject. I think.
Okay, you want me to add, what is it you want?
But I would just say what you had, African American modern day grandmother.
Okay.
I think you should add fun, Grandma, because you are funny.
Yes.
Definitely came across in
With
your
a wit.
spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a wit. I love that. Yeah.
Modern day grandma
funny.
with a wit.
Make sure you show that personality in the email. Darren has something.
Yes, there was a word I was trying to go for. So don't take this the wrong way, but it's almost like there's a naivety, almost like a scatterbrainness about, it's like kind of scatterbrain, airheady kind of,
Totally.
definitely comes across. It came across in almost every narration.
Yeah.
Maybe scatterbrain. I don't know.
Okay.
I thought classy.
Yeah.
And I thought opinionated.
Yeah.
Modern day grandma with attitude, maybe, or something like that. Although that will come across when you're like, not retired.
Yeah, exactly. It's got classy attitude. Anybody else have anything to add?
Yeah, I thought you were sassy.
Yeah. Sassy.
Spicy.
Saucy.
Okay, I love all those. Okay, guys, sorry. We do need to move on because Lena is gonna jump on in just a few minutes. I was hoping that we could kind of flesh out the bodies of everybody's email, but again, what we were saying, this class was like 2 months long. We condensed it to a workshop, but we will make sure that we get eyes on all of your emails if you want to send that to us. But I just wanted to kind of go over really quick the best ways to create the email, the body of the email. So the first little part, you want to hook them in the very beginning. So the first part, you can either like dive in a little bit more to your subjects, like we even gave examples of. Anyways, we can go back to that. But personalize it. You could even just say something like, even like if Darren says something like jack of all trades, just say, yeah, I've had businesses, I've done all this types of things. So Darren was like, wait, I think that's right, or maybe not. To mention a little something like that. Very short, just keep it 1-2 sentences long. Make sure you personalize it. I forgot to mention that part. If we have time, I'll show you some examples of what not to do. Personalize it to who that person is. Make sure you say in there, I would love to be represented by CESD. Put it in there, like just say what you want. I want to be represented by your agency. First of all, they're probably already going to know that because you're sending it to a specific email that's for submissions, but just make sure you say that. Just state what you want. And then add in, generally what I would say is that that first like little paragraph of introduction, 1 to 2 sentences long, make sure you infuse something about you or personalize it to them. If you met with them, if you got introduced to them through like the industry pro, say something along the lines of like, hey, I got a chance to meet you at Atlanta Voiceover Studios Industry Pro last month. Just something to give them a frame of reference for how they know you or how they've connected with you in some way. And then that second paragraph, I want you to share stuff about either your background, your experience with voiceover, like if you have any celebrity references like we talked about, and again, this only needs to be like 3 sentences long or so, nothing too big, but think of it as in what value can I bring that agency? Now, most people, and hopefully I'll get a chance to show you some quick emails, most people always are like, hey, I love VO. There's nothing more that I want to do. I would love to be part of your agency. If I'm an agent, I'm like, I want to know if you share with me what value you can bring to me automatically, you're already steps ahead of all the other talent that submit. Now, the hard part is understanding and knowing that value. So I get it. It can be really difficult. That's why I say, like, what we'll do instead of doing the bodies of the email in the workshop, if you want to do it on your own and then send it to Mike and I, we'll like review it and we can give you some tips. So even if you do this and it's like, I'm kind of mumbling and going on and on about, then we can even look at it and go, hey, maybe you could tighten some things up here, or what if you say it like this or whatever. Then you need to get to the business part of it. So it's describing your home studio. I really like to do bullet points on this because bullet points are great. People are skimming emails. So if they see too many paragraphs, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, this is going to take me, 7 minutes to read. But with the bullet points, they automatically can see, oh, great. Okay. Yeah. They've got a broadcast home studio. Now, another thing that I want to say about this and anything that you present to an agent is don't lie, but we can show it in the best light possible. And what I mean by that is that even John and I were talking, he doesn't have Source Connect yet, right? Because he's like it's expensive and you need to have Source Connect to get on with agents or whatever. So what I told him to do was put Source Connect available on there. Now, he can get Source Connect and he can get it for free too, even to start off with. It's showing like, look, I know the lingo, I know what I need to have. And if the agent asks about it, then he can always say, listen, I've got a plan in place, whatever it is. They just need to make sure that you can be available to have the stuff that you need to have. And we can even go through specifics. If there's anything that you feel like, oh, that sounds like a hindrance or whatever to agents, just let us know. We can probably try to help you find a way to put it in the best light. So another example of that would be turnaround time. That's very important to agents, right? So if you, a lot of times with people that they're working a full-time job and trying to get on with agents, is I'll say, if you can do a 24-hour turnaround time, just put that, 24-hour turnaround time. That looks very good. And they know that you're going to be available and to be able to do the auditions. Don't say that you're working another full-time job. They just want to make sure that you're available if they need to send you an audition or if you need to book a job or whatever. Let's see, what are some other things? Oh, back to the home studio. So one of the things that I've been encouraging people to do, and I've talked to several agents that are like, this is so gold, this is so helpful, is to include a little sample from your home studio. So if Jillian is submitting to an agent, right, besides adding her demo on there and attaching it, she also records from her home studio a short personalized recording. This doesn't take long. Saying like, so for instance, if she's trying to get on with Stewart Talent and she knows Jason's the point person for VO. Hey Jason, this is Jillian. I hope you're having a great day. I just wanted to give you a good idea of what my home studio sounds like. That's it. That's it. Nothing too long, but just something short. And if it's personalized, and what that does is it helps the agent to know that you're not just saying my home studio sounds good, but they already have an example that it sounds good.
So you're saying, should you add that if it's like a first email?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I've got a couple of technical questions about
Yes.
that. So I've got a home studio, which is really just a converted closet with sound blankets, and it sounds pretty good. But
home studio.
Right. Okay. So that's my question. So you said stretching the truth, but then when you say send them a bite of sound, like I have to do, I have to reduce the noise filter, bring up the, so do all the.
That's fine.
Okay.
If that's stuff that you've worked, because you've worked with, did you work with Dan Friedman? Who did you work
Larry
with?
Hudson.
Larry, that's right. So you already know all, yes.
So do all those things.
Do all that, that's fine.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of post production.
I will say, yes, you should probably get with an engineer though for your baseline without having to do all that. And then because you can have $1,000 mic, but if your space isn't treated well, it's not going to sound good. So get with Dan Friedman to listen to it just at base level without you doing anything, and see if there needs to be any changes made acoustically. Because when you do get on if you do book something, you're on Source Connect with an engineer who's going into that studio. It's fine if it's in your closet. It doesn't matter where it is. Mm-hmm. Some of that stuff has to be mitigated, and if you do it beforehand, it'll take a whole lot out of that. Okay. But yes.
And if you want to just send us a sample of it first to listen to it, we can.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to you on the side. I did have a conversation with George the tech.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So
great.
We can talk. I mean,
okay.
George is great as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
My commercial demo was recorded in my home studio.
Perfect.
So can I just say that?
You can totally say that. Here's what it gives you the opportunity. It gives you the opportunity to connect with them in another way by personalizing it too. They're like, Abby went to the trouble to record something just for me. Mm. That is big, because I guarantee you the majority of submission emails too that we get are like cut and paste. And so there's no personalization at all. So if you can add that, that would be great. But I think that's really helpful to say, even like, hey, my commercial demo is actually recorded in my home studio as well.
You're sending a link, not an MP3 file, right?
No, attaching the MP3, not a link.
Okay, so do attach.
Do attach. Don't.
So it's interesting because at Voiceover Atlanta, I think it was Julie Wilson said, or one of the audiobooks said they want links. They don't want.
And they may, and that's totally fine, but for most agents, and the only reason why that is because sometimes some email providers flag links.
Okay.
That's why it's good to have the attachment. And that's just what we've heard across the board from like commercial agents. is that they prefer the attachment.
But if in a submission thing they say if they want links, send a link.
Send the link. The other thing is about the links is you just don't want them to have to do any work. That's why we say to outline your value that you bring that agent, because if they can quickly skim and go, oh, yep, I know exactly where I could put this person. Oh, I've got some auditions that would be great for this person automatically. You are saving them so much time and energy. And it's going to be like, this is the type of person that I want to work with. The industry's crazy. They're getting things last minute like this. They want to be the best agent to you. They want to get you the most opportunities. And the more that you can show, hey, I'm in this with you and I'm going to work with you to do the same thing, the better it is. Okay, contact info in your email signature. I think probably most people would include that, but just as a reminder, to make sure you put that contact information in there. If you feel comfortable putting your phone number, do that. I don't know if any agents would, well, a couple have actually set up phone calls with people automatically, but anyways, you don't necessarily need to have that in there. But all your contact information, just in case something happens with your email or whatever, is really helpful. Okay, real quick, I want to,
2 minutes before she hops on.
I know, I just want to show some quick examples of some crazy submissions as an example
Of what not to do.
of what not to do. Okay, so this person, no subject whatsoever, so we didn't even know what they were emailing about. Oh, this is good that they're talking about non-union. This had a link to the resume here. You know, there's a lot of things that could have been better about this, but we won't go into all the details on this. But it does bring up one thing, union status. So that is something that if you're non-union, I wouldn't necessarily put it in there. If you are, it would depend on the specific agent. So if you do go to their website and they say they're a SAG signatory agency, then if you are SAG, I would put that in the body of your email. But if you're not, I wouldn't say that right then. They'll ask you if they're interested in taking you on. Now, this is a whole discussion. Maybe we'll get back to the union thing in just a second.
Also, please, if you write an email, capitalize, use punctuation, use proper grammar.
I'm SAG-E, so I know how that would affect maybe like I would say something if I was going to like an on-camera agent, but is that worth mentioning to a regular agent or just wait?
I wouldn't, because you still would have to be tough, hard, like you would still, I just wait.
Okay.
And if that is of concern, you can tell them I'm SAG eligible, and I think that would I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I just maybe not include that in the first initial email. Right. Okay, real quick, let's see. This one is, okay, so I included this one because it's all about him, and we can go into more detail about this later, but I would like to send you my voice demo. I'm 27 years old. I love working with my voice. I have a home studio and I'm always at your service. So it's not awful that he's saying these things, but you have to give the agency something. So by you being able to describe more of your value or what you can bring to the table as a good talent, then that would be better than just saying it's like, I love working with my voice. Well, great. There's a lot of people out there that love working with their voice, but what can you offer?
Also, it's very generic.
Yeah.
Can you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Very generic. It's not to someone specific. It's all about them. There's no contact information outside of the email. There's nothing that personalizes it that would make anybody want to open it. These are the stuff that we get, that it's like, this could have been so much better had they just added a little nuanced touch. But to us, it just looks like I'm blasting out a bunch of emails today. You're on my schedule. Here's my demo.
How do we talk about current experience? So I have online ads running, but I don't want to be like, here's the list of things I'm doing. But I also want to be like, here's the list of things that I've gotten on my own.
Right.
So how do you navigate that, and how do you include it without being overwhelming?
That's a great question.
Look at it from the aspect of, again, it's a business relationship. Is your business going to line up with their business? You're proving to them that you know what you're doing. So if you look at it from the aspect of, I just want to give you a few examples of what I'm capable of, not using this terminology, but here's a few things. So in that way, I mean,
I think that what you said was key. Choose 3.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you have a
And
long
is it okay
list
to
of
like
things.
link it? Or
For that, I would say it's okay, because if you're attaching your demo, they're already going to hear it. So that may be overkill. Or maybe you just say, I have booked some things recently. I'd love to share those with you.
The other option you could do is just say, I've worked with Coke and UPS and stuff and some other great companies, and they're all actually, some examples are on my website. That way
Or I
they
can
have a
provide
place.
those later.
Yeah, they have a place to go look for it and a place to go, like somewhere to go search more for you. It's your website. And I will say, even though we mentioned don't like link your demo, your website, that's a different story. You can hyperlink your website. I don't think that's going to be an issue.
But if you don't have a website.
Juanita, you don't have a website?
404 is.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You're okay. We can talk about that in just a second. But Lena just entered. So, hey, Lena. Well, Lena is the voice agent at People Store in Atlanta. And so thank you so much for being here today, Lena. We really appreciate it. We're talking about agents, so it's so crazy that you're an agent and you're here with us and can tell us exactly.
What a cool thing.
Yeah, if we're right or wrong. But what I wanted to start off with, Lena, is everybody sent in an audition that we sent out. And I would love just to listen, just to the first few seconds, if you don't mind. We'll go through the whole thing. And I just want you to give me, like, once you listen, you don't have to go back and say something about each person, but if there's any observations that you have as an agent, if you can just share those with us after we listen. Let's go through it. Everyone will slate as well on this audition. All right, here we go.
It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog.
Okay, we'll go on to the next one. I know I'm going through this fast, but I just want to go through the first few seconds of each one.
Danielle Rhodes. It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from
Jillian Butler. It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog, delivered to your door.
Macy Roberts. It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog.
It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog.
Abby Getty. It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog. Delivered to your door in packs.
Jessica Boyer. It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog. Delivered to...
It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dog fresh food from the farmer's dog. Delivered to your door.
Hi, this is Darren Joel. It's time.
Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog.
Getting into the guys.
Garrett Arnold, it's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog. Delivered to your...
Jason Budd, it's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog.
It's time. Yes, the time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time to quit the kibble, kick the cans, and feed their dog fresh food from the farmer's dog. Delivered to your...
Okay, so I wanted to do that, just so everyone else knows, is I wanted to do that one for you guys to be able to listen like you would listen, like an agent listens to submissions, right? Lena's like, this is what I do every day.
I don't usually listen to them like all the way through. Sometimes here and there, but yeah, you pretty much nailed it. I listen really quick, probably even less than that.
Yeah. Well, this is so great because we don't, as voice talent, we don't get a chance to be able to hear that on that end of like what it sounds when everybody else is submitting. But I also wanted Lena as an agent to be able to give us any feedback that she has of what it's like as an agent to listen to these auditions that come through and what are some of the things that you're listening for and what stands out. And anyways, it's just a free, Lena, what what do you think?
Well, I did take notes because I'm like, okay, I'm not going to remember everybody's name. So I kind of did take notes. Let me know if I missed anybody. What I did think, like, for example, John's was the last one that I did hear. His was the fastest out of all of them. I do think you could have slowed that down just like a tad bit. The one that stood out to me the most out of all of them, being that it's like dog food, it's conversational, was Jessica Boyer. Hers sounded very conversational, like you're talking to your best friend about the kibble. Like you're not, like you're not trying to convince them. You're like, hey, I really found out about this new dog food, so on and so forth. Hers was really good. Tina's as well really stood out to me, and Garrett. Because of the aspect of it being more conversational and the pacing was like as if you're talking to your best friend. Not too fast, not too slow, not too many pauses. There was one that I did write that I thought was a bit sexy. Macy Roberts, the beginning, it sounded very sexy.
Macy's like, oh.
But then it kind of like leveled out. But the beginning was a little sexy, which was interesting take to it. But those are kind of the ones that kind of stand out the most. Like, for example, Abby's was a little too slow in the pacing, but conversational was there. But which is what you're really looking for. So that's easy to fix in a directed session is just increase the pace. But everybody did really well.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Lena. What are some things that people have sent in, like audition wise, that you're like, I can't send that through? Like, what are some of the reasons why you haven't been able to put those through? Some of the biggest reasons.
One would be that the audio I couldn't hear properly. Like just the audio quality. But usually when I'm listening to auditions, I'm really listening to is for audio quality. Just making sure like, there's basically no room tone, and that I can hear you properly, that you're not too far away from the mic, that you're not too loud or too soft on the mic. That's usually one of the reasons why I wouldn't submit. I try to submit all the tapes I can, because for the most part, I'm not the casting director. So, and acting is subjective. Half the time I don't know what the client is really looking for, or maybe the client doesn't really know what they're looking for. So they want to get as many options as possible. So that would be really the only reason I don't submit it, unless it's completely off. Like you totally missed like a line, or like something was totally off. That would be really the only reason I wouldn't submit it. But if the client comes to me and it's direct with the client, they're like, hey, just send me your top 10 reads, then I am going to take a deeper dive into the audition, probably listen a little longer, because then I am acting as like that casting director per se. So the only reason I would just really try to look at the specs that they're looking for. If they're saying conversational, mid-20s, or whatever the age range is, really try to focus in on like the age range, what the ask is of the actor, how they want it to read through. And that would be the only reason I wouldn't submit somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lena. I have more questions, but I want to open it up for other people to ask questions because I know we have a short time with you. And so does anybody else in the workshop have any questions for Lena?
How many demos did you say we need to submit?
So when I'm looking at an audition or like for consideration to the agency, I'm really just listening to 2 demos. I'm really just listening for the commercial and the character demo. Okay. If we have more, I mean, great. Those are like the top 2 that I'm listening to. They're like the top ones I aim to listen to. And of course, if you have like a political one or a promo one, then I'll listen through most of them. But those are going to be the ones that I listen to most.
Okay.
Thanks for that question, Juanita. If anybody else is on virtual that has a question, just raise your hand on like the virtual raised hand so I can see you. And then again, so that was Juanita that just asked you the question, Lena, but if anybody else has a question, make sure you introduce yourself first so Lena knows like who she's talking to. And Lena, while everyone's getting their courage to ask you questions, one of the things that we did before, earlier in the workshop, is we worked through like email subject lines and the body of the email to submit to agents. So one of the things that we were saying is that the majority of people that submit to agents in their email subject is just like, either there's no subject, or it's just like VO talent, or it's like male voice actor, or whatever. And so we were saying it's really helpful when you can add in that subject the value that you bring to that agent, or if there's specifically something that you're looking for. So whether it's like if they're bilingual, to add that into the subject so that you can automatically go, oh, great, we need bilingual voice actors. That's something that we kind of went over with. And sometimes when someone is more like, if they're like me, that's like, there's a lot of girls in my age range and sound like. And so the more that we can figure out what are those unique things that we bring to the table that we can describe ourselves in that could bring value to the agent, the better. So just to give you an insight to some of the things that we're...
I will say lately I have been working as more of a referral only. I'm trying to make sure my roster is not massively huge.
Yeah.
But when I do look at, the occasional submission, the subject matter, I guess that stands out is personalized. Personalize it to your personality, to who you are. And like Heidi said, if you're bilingual, definitely showcase that. But kind of giving me up front what type of specific voice you normally go for. If you're like an exciting voice, like a verb that stands out to your personality. I'm trying to think of like something noteworthy about you.
Yeah.
That's gonna put you over the top. Because then if it's just like, hey, generic voiceover submission, Lena Ramirez, it's not gonna say anything about me. But if I say new exciting voice or conversational millennial voice, something to that tone of who you are, kind of give me a little bit of that information in that subject matter.
Or if it is like bio intro on your LinkedIn, right? Like something that stands out, like a sentence, like choose something like that as like the subject matter to your email.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, so Amy has her hand raised, and maybe if she's brave enough, she'd even share with you her email subject that we came up with.
Thank you. I would love to. Hi, I'm Amy Meredith. Thank you for being here and for your notes. My question first is, does it catch your eye if someone's, looking for commercial representation, but also has audiobook experience? And is that something that you like, oh, great, I need that on my roster? Or is that not something that agents often are looking to cast? Sometimes work with audiobooks, but if you do work with audiobooks, it tells me that you have longevity because those things take forever to do, and that you can be directed properly and that you can play a character, and that's very valuable. So it's not something not to do or not to add on to your resume because it is a skill. So I wouldn't want you to not do it. But to me, that's what I see. If it's somebody that has any like audible type of skill, that's what that reads to me. I mean, I think it is a valuable skill. Yeah, that's helpful. It gives you other information. It gives me more information. Yeah, even though I don't do audiobooks, but that's what it tells me. Great, perfect. And yes, I would love to share what we have come up with for my subject line, if this would catch your eye. Kristen Bell's younger, quirky sister. Oh, that's fun. Okay, great. Nice work. Nice work, guys. But it gives the essence and catches your eye. Yeah, to me, I instantly went to Frozen. Yeah. Thank you. You're Elsa, not Anna. Got it. Thank you.
Oh, love it. Okay, Jessica.
Hi, I'm Jessica Boyer. My question is, I was wondering what factors or pillars that do you look at when it comes to forging a relationship with a voiceover artist?
That I can easily reach you. That is super important. Communication. I communicate a lot with my actors, or I try to. Especially like if I'm meeting you in the beginning, I do a virtual call like this. I know it's not normally normal in the voiceover world. Usually agents just listen to demos and say, hey, you're on my roster, and that's it. I like to have like a face-to-face conversation of some way, just to get to know you, to get your personality kind of, and ultimately the talent forges that relationship. And I'm easy to communicate with. You can definitely find me. And to me, it's just kind of figuring out the personality, like a first date in a way. And that's kind of how I do like the first meeting with somebody that I'm going to sign. So that's kind of how I kind of forge that relationship. But ultimately, it's up to the talent to continue the relationship. If you want to reach out and have like a check-in, a strategy call, all of those things, that kind of has to be on you to develop with the agent. Because I do have several people on my roster, and not only that, I'm also an on-camera agent, so I do have several things on my plate. But it's up to you to kind of set up the relationship that you want. And of course, I will be able to tell you what I can or cannot do, but that's kind of how I go about it.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's great. Jessica, did you want to share your email subject line?
Yes. Mine is sweet, clear, youthful, millennial, African American female.
Lovely. Maybe a little too long.
We were adding so many good things that Jessica was bringing to the table.
Straight down, so.
Love it. Does anybody else have any questions like in the room too?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't find how to raise my hand. It's Danielle.
Oh, okay, Danielle, and then Megan. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna find it, and then I'm gonna okay. I'm Danielle Rhodes. So you said you were a stage, not stage. You were like on-screen actor, rep too, and I'm wondering, because I'm kind of looking for both. Would you say to divide them up? Do you have clients that are both represented like for screen and for voiceover, or do you try and keep those two separate?
No, I do have actors that I do represent on both sides of the coin. But those actors understand both worlds. They understand what it takes, to do VO and what it takes to do on camera because it's two different beasts. For me, it's better like that like that VO is high volume, constant auditioning, and that maybe not every audition is personalized to you specifically, and that you get to choose the things that you want to go out for. The way that I send the auditions are going to be based off of your ethnicity, age range, and union status, and then ultimately you decide if you want to submit. But not every on-camera actor knows that, because on camera the submissions are specifically to you. I look at your headshot, I look at description, I go to casting then sends me their selects, and then you get an audition. So I guess for me, it's making sure that the actor knows the differences between the two worlds and how they function, because you can easily do it both and do it successfully. For example, Mike Stout does it successfully, Heidi Root does it successfully, and multiple actors that I work with on my roster. So it's just kind of making sure they understand both sides of the coin. So if like what the issue that I get with that sometimes on camera talent, they're like, oh well, I just want to do VO now. Well, it's not just, oh, I want to do VO. You got to go take a class. You got to understand the equipment and understand the background business of it before I can just start willy-nilly sending you auditions. So I don't really, I have all kinds of different talent. I have talent that are on camera elsewhere and they're just with me for VO. So it just depends. But to me, it's just making sure they understand the business of both sides and what it takes to do both sides.
Okay, awesome, thank you. And mine is Middle Eastern dog mom with a New Jersey edge.
I love it.
Okay, I think who else had their hand?
Hi, I'm Megan. I had a couple questions, but I think I'm just going to stick with this one. In terms of turnaround time, when you're sending out auditions, what are you looking for? Are you wanting something like super quick within a couple of hours, or are you looking for like a 24-hour kind of turnaround?
In a perfect world, it'd be like 24 hours if I could have it my way. So if I can have it my way, you'll have at least 24 to 48 hours because it makes my life easier. I hate doing same day auditions, but that's just the industry.
Yeah.
In general. So if I'm working more of like the CD on a project, then I will give like at least like 24 to 48 hour turnaround depending on what the client needs. So, but if it's like I'm working with a CD and the CD needs the same day, that's just the name of the game. So I always like to give talent as much time as possible, and I give myself maybe 30 to 45 minutes to listen to the auditions and make sure everything's labeled correctly if it's the same day. But if I'm doing more of like the CD work on it, then I give you guys as much time as possible.
Does it make a difference to you then, like if you know up front that you've got a talent who can do something like that, or is that just kind of, if they
To
can?
me, I think it is important that talent can do same day auditions.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. I don't have a fully workshopped line yet, but it's something along the lines of like the cheeky big sister who hosts your favorite podcast or something like that.
I love it.
That's great. Thanks, Megan. That was a great question. Jillian.
Hi, Lena. I'm Jillian Butler. Thank you for listening to our samples. My question is, do you have any particular pet peeves from voice actors that, whether you get in emails or auditions or anything like that you're like, you shake your head at?
Just not reading the email entirely. Like, for the most part, like there's a link. I mean, I'm human and I make mistakes all the time. Half the time I'm like, oh, I forgot to put the slides in, or I forgot to add the link. So making sure if you do ever see that, like, oh, Lena, you forgot the slides, please let me know. And I'll be like, thank you for pointing that out. But for me, it's like, for the most part, I try to give you guys all the information you need. And, sometimes people don't read the email entirely. They're like, oh, where is, maybe the sides aren't attached, but the sides are highlighted in the body of the email. I just didn't read the email all the way through. That's kind of a bit of a pet peeve, not following labeling instructions properly. That means I have to go in and relabel everything. And then submitting like 3 hours after it was due. Like, hey, if you didn't even let me know and you just submitted 3 hours late, like I've already turned that thing in. So, it's kind of like a waste of time, and I would hate for you to waste your time. And I just see it happens. So it is a little bit of a pet peeve, but I mean, I would say like those would be the only things that like are super kind of annoying. Everything else I'm pretty easy about. Yeah.
You're very generous. Thank you. And my subject line was fun cruise mom with a scalpel.
Oh, okay.
That'll make you open up the email, won't it?
That stands out. That's click worthy.
Love it. That's awesome. Okay, does anybody else have any questions for Lena? Yes, John.
I know you. Hi, I'm John. It's nice to meet you. I know you were talking about you're taking mostly referral clients, but if you aren't that experienced, does that stop you from taking clients? I mean, is it like if you're sort of beginning in the business?
No. I take clients that have never had agents, that literally have probably not even booked a job. But what's most important to me is that you're getting the training at the right places with the right people. You're putting in the time, that you have the equipment, that you know what's in your tool belt and what's not. You understand how editing works. You understand like the lingo of the business.
Right.
So I'm not kind of teaching that along the way. So, but I do have clients that I take on that have had absolutely no experience doing this in terms of like a resume, but they have the knowledge behind it, the training, and that, to me, that's the most important. Because if you're not training, then
right.
What do you?
Yeah, right. Nothing. Thank you. Mine is hold on, let me find it. Oh, here it is. The guy who sounds like his vocal cords have been dragged over a cheese grater. I know it's a little long.
It's just a little. It definitely stands out.
Love it. Okay, Darren, did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on a couple of. Hi, I'm Darren. So we're all seeking representation. So when you said you work pretty much referral only, so going back to when you weren't referral only, when people are submitting their auditions or submitting to their agents, what would you say is a pet peeve, A, and what would you recommend to us as far as follow-up? Do you always get back to people, yeah, I'm not interested, or how should we continue the process until we know that it's just a no-go?
Yeah, and sadly, I can't, if I were to listen to every submission, I'd be listening to submissions all day long. And realistically, I just can't. So like what I do is, if I do get blind submissions, like maybe once a week or every other week, I'll take a day where I'll like click through a few of them that stand out to me, or as many as I can get through. But sometimes you may not hear a reply back. So, and that's usually because A, I didn't get to it, or I listened to it and it was a pass. I try to give you guys like an answer either way, but sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. It's just the reality. I get so many submissions on a constant basis. That's why I had to go to refer only, because I just don't have the time to listen to all the submissions and give you guys like a reply consistently. And if I do reply and it's a no, it's usually like, hey, maybe right now is not the best time. Or I try to give you like a one note on the reason why, if it's probably audio or it's something like that. But that's kind of how that works when it comes to the submission process. And I know most agents are like that too. They just, sadly, if we were to just do submissions, I would just be doing submissions all day long and listening and getting back to people, and ultimately probably not getting any work done. So that's kind of how that works, sadly. Follow up though, if you do follow up, you know what? I'll probably listen if you do follow up, because that means you're being a little bit, like persistent. So, and I actually appreciate a follow up because maybe I did really like it, maybe I just didn't get to it, whatever it may be. But for the most part, I'll take a listen if there is a follow up and I'll get back to you. But I think anything past one follow up is probably too much. I hope that helps.
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. My my tagline. I think what do we say? I think we're kind of like we're all over the place. Thank you. It was Dad of all trades, the fixer. I don't remember. We needed some wordsmithing.
The Renaissance man.
Renaissance man. Yeah. I didn't really have a specific one, but
yeah, I like the dad portion of it. I like that.
Okay. Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Lena, thank you so much for giving just your time to us and to everyone. There was some really good stuff too that I think you said that are great reminders for all of us, and so we just appreciate you taking time, especially on a Saturday. And Lena's a mom, and so and she works really hard even during the week and on the weekends, and so just thank you so much for taking time with us. We really appreciate it.
Of course, it was my pleasure. Definitely a first time. I really appreciated the way that we listened to it at the beginning.
Yeah.
I was like, how I listened to.
It's so true, and that's why we say like that first line is so important. If it's not there right out of the gate, you can't warm up into it, you know.
Exactly.
Thank you again so much, Lena. We really appreciate you.
Of course, you guys have a good class. I enjoyed those reads.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Good group.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great rest of your Saturday.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Lena.
Bye. Okay.
Guys, did you hear that? You can submit. No referral necessary. And you get an agent. And you get an agent.
So, okay, you guys. So obviously we have packed so much into a workshop. I thank you guys for kind of being the guinea pigs, but because of that, I feel like there was so much that we didn't totally get to. And there's still some stuff I want to mention. And if there's any other questions about that, then, feel free to reach out to us. But what I'll also do is I will send you the link to everybody's auditions for today, because I think this is so valuable. Now, for somebody like me, I'm very hard on myself. So, and I also love to cheer other people on. So I would listen to those and go, why am I even doing this career? Everybody's so good. And I would not, I wouldn't book myself. I'd book somebody else or whatever. Don't listen from that perspective. I want you to listen like you are an agent or a casting director, and you're listening like what would fit with the script, with the breakdown, what catches your ear with the volume of the audition, with the slate. I want you to be able to listen in, because that's what everybody else hears, and we never can hear that part of our job. So it's so valuable, and you all sound wonderful. So you can also put that out of your head if you are trying to judge yourself or listening into that. You all sounded really, really wonderful. And then there are some other aspects in the curriculum too that we didn't get a chance to go over, but it's something that you can always reference. And some of the stuff I think some of you guys already know, and some of it would be good refreshers. So some of those are like audition reminders, what to make sure you look out for. But then there's also expectations from the agent and from the talent. One of the biggest things of feedback that we've heard from agents is that a lot of talent just don't understand how that works. I think a lot of talent, and I don't think anybody in this room does, but I think a lot of talent think that once they get on with the agent, then their career is just going to go off and that's the end. That's kind of the end all be all. You get an agent. That's it. Yeah. And so the more that you can think of it as this partnership, the better. And the more that we can figure out what do we bring to the table as our value, the better. Please, one of the things that Lena said that I was like, I'd already written it down, so I was so glad she reinforced this, but is to be persistent. There's a lot of voices out there, but that does not mean that you can't be represented by multiple agents. It may just take some extra persistence. And I'm speaking that way because I'm one of those voices. There's a lot of people that sound similar to me out there, but it just takes a lot of persistence, those relationships. And one of the things that I really wanted us to do before this workshop ends is I want you all to figure out a game plan for reaching out to these agents. I'm not going to force any of you guys to be in like an accountability group with everybody here. But what I am going to do is I'm going to send everybody's emails out. If anybody wants to take over just kind of checking in, it can just be a simple email check-in, maybe a few weeks from now. I had put in the pamphlet kind of the SMART goals because I do think that's a really good framework. But the most important thing that you do is you figure out realistically how many agents can I reach out to, and what's that time frame? Like, what goal am I setting? So if Abby's like, I really want to reach out to 10 agents, to submit to 10 agents, and I want to do it by the end of September. So I'm gonna focus on maybe 1 or 2 a week to submit to, and then that way you guys can kind of hold each other accountable. Listen, I'll hold you accountable too, okay? I'm gonna send you guys emails as well. But I'm gonna say like, hey, how's that goal doing? Have you submitted to the agents that you're focusing on? Okay, so here's what I'll actually ask you guys so we can be clear on this. Now that I'm talking through this, would it be easier if I just send you guys an email in a few weeks to check in to see how your goals are doing with reaching out to agents? Okay, that way it's just like I can be a point person. I already have all your emails, and we can just see how everybody's doing from there. So you know that somebody's going to check in, right? And then we can kind of go from there. The other thing that I wanted to just mention, and the reason why I wanted you guys to listen to those auditions, is because a lot of agents these days are doing something they're doing like trial periods with talent. So they're going to say like, oh yeah, we'll bring you on for a 6-month trial and see how it goes. And so not that you have the pressure of booking something within that 6 months, but you do have the pressure of making sure those auditions are good quality auditions. And this is a way that you can really show what you can bring to the table. That's kind of one of the reasons why we had the whole audition aspect of this, the agent rep prep, is because I wanted to make sure that when you get in there to that agent, that it's just like they're blown away and they're like, oh my gosh, this is a no-brainer. So, and just a few other reminders. Try and create those relationships with agents, whether it's through like Industry Pro or something else like that. For our Industry Pros, we put the link to join that in the email newsletter. I know August is already filled, but I can tell you September is Tanya Buchanan from Tada VoiceWorks. It's actually a Canadian voiceover agent. So we did not have that in the national agent list, but they are very good. They are one of the top agents in Canada, and their auditions are great. All good quality stuff. So she would be a good one if you're interested in that. One to sign up for. She'd be a good relationship. And that's a good example. I took a coaching session with her, partly because I was going to have her on the Industry Pro. This has been a while ago. I was going to have her in the Industry Pro, and I was like, I don't know a ton about her, and I kind of want to make sure, I want to know how she coaches and stuff. So we had a coaching session, and she was like, would you be interested in being represented by Tada? And I was like, well, yeah, I didn't even really think I didn't even go into it expecting it. But I just say that to say that it's just such a great example that sometimes if you can work with, if agents do coaching or something, not all do, but if they do any appearances, it could be a really good opportunity for you.
Any questions? Darren?
I have a couple. Since I have the floor, I'm going to just put them out there and
Yeah.
you can answer them. Okay, so you asked in the very beginning, how many agents do you think you have? I don't think we ever got a firm answer on that, so maybe you can answer that. Also, again, this is like a whole new world, whereas before it was all agents, that's only, there was no online resources for us. Now that there are, like, Ahab and Voice 123, and what percentage can we expect to be working at when we're trying to find representation? When we get representation, what's the split? Like, what should we be? Is there a rule of a golden number there as far as what we can expect the split to be, as far as how much work we're doing? And then of those places, the online submissions, what are the best ones?
As far
You
as
may have to remind us of some of those.
yeah,
but-
Okay,
as far as agents go, for me, I would say there's going to be a point of diminishing returns. Yeah. So for us, we started out with Houghton Talent, and we did on camera, but then we moved from there to another agency, and now we're with People Store. So we're actually with Houghton and People Store for regional. Just to give you guys an example, there's crossover all the time.
That's not something that is okay these days. So just
Yeah,
FYI,
yeah. It's
not two agents in one city.
Yeah, I say that just because you don't want to get too oversaturated. Typically, one in each region, anywhere from 4 to 6, I would say would be a sweet spot. Now, if you already have, if you find demos kicking, you get an LA agent, you get a New York agent, there may be crossover there. It just depends, and you'll work that out. But the regions will typically not have that much. But then again, there are some casting directors that utilize different agents across the country. So you just kind of have to play it as is. If you're getting enough work, enough auditions, like 10 to 20 auditions from 3 agents, maybe that's your threshold. Maybe you want to get more. It's up to you.
What's your personal policy for if you do get auditions from the same audition from multiple agents?
So before, it
Aaron,
used
welcome
to
back.
be whatever agent you originally started with, they called it the home agent. However, that has changed these days, and part of it is, at least for us, because there are some agents that are really particular and will drop us if we don't. And so therefore we kind of go with whichever agent is more valuable to us. I know that sounds weird, but what I mean by that is like our New York agent, we've had other agents before them, but COVID opened up a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of crossovers now, like, you know, they can send out breakdowns to a lot of different agents. But the New York agent is very particular about who we do auditions from. So especially if they're coming from our manager. And so they get really mad. So the bottom line is like the better communication you can have, that's the way to go with your agent. So we both talked and we just kind of came to an agreement. The other thing that I would say is like, even just recently, I got an audition from one agent. Tada sent me another one, the same one, and I hadn't talked to them about what's their rule. So before I submitted to either one, I said, "Hey, what's your expectation on this?" And then that way you can kind of get an idea for where they're at, and it could also cause an issue if it's like every single audition that they end up sending you, it's the same audition that you're getting from another agent. That's something to where it's like you've got to decide, like, I may need to just drop one of the agents.
Right.
But the more communication you can have, the better. The thing you don't want to do is dual submit.
Right.
So you submit the same audition through 2 different agents and just not be communicative, you know. If they send you an audition and then you don't reply that you can't do it or whatever, then it's going to start to look negative on you. But just the communication is key. Okay, so Darren, the second question.
I think of the more important ones, of the ones where you can self-submit, what do you think are the best ones to do that?
Pay to plays. Badalgo's really good. Voice 123 is
Hit or miss.
Hit or miss. It started out.
It's complicated. Yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
I mean, it's literally complicated,
It is
like their
complicated.
system,
Yes.
and also like how people feel about it. And I have a friend who is getting all these favorites. She's been a V123 for a while. She keeps getting favorites, but she hasn't booked anything. But she's in the top 10%.
Yeah.
And then people who've been on it for years are in like the bottom 50.
Yep.
The algorithm is weird.
The
So
algorithm is
it's
weird.
hit or miss.
Yeah.
Bio Planet used to be decent. I don't know how they are
Yeah.
nowadays.
It's
Voices
changed a lot.
is, in my opinion, it's tough because they've got a business model that works for them, but it doesn't benefit the talent as much because not only do you pay a yearly, but they're also getting a hit of if you book an audition, you know, they're getting it from the client side and then they're getting a chunk of what they're paying you there. So
They're taking 20% off the top of every job,
Yeah.
even repeat clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where I've gotten all my work.
Yeah.
So like it's something you have to
And it's
decide.
also
voices.
And it's also
So
hard
I'll
to,
talk to you about that if you want.
and it's also hard to stick to the GBAA rate guide, which is what we try and stick to all the time because if you start lowering those standards, you're going to start, get less, and it moves across the board. It's tough.
I also do want to mention something that you asked. You said, how many opportunities can you expect?
Once you have an agent and they start giving you work, and is there a realistic split that you can expect between how much am I going to be having to go out there and find my own work versus what they're going to provide?
It's kind of one that you'll feel it. You have to feel it out for yourself because everybody's different.
Yeah.
It took her 4 years to book with her first agent.
And I mean, Mike and I used to book 90% of all of our voiceover stuff only through agents. We weren't even on, online casting for a while. But then things change. The industry changes. So I think that's why it's so good that you guys are in here, because it is important to diversify, even with agents, I would say, because there's been times where my gosh, with one agent, I'm just hot. And it's like, boom, 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 boom. And then another agent, it's like I have a dry spell for months, So it's really good to be able, and who knows why? I don't know. It's just really good to be able to have, multiple agents, because that sometimes happens. And it's just different for how soon somebody books when they get on with a new agent too. There's been some agents that I've got on that I've booked immediately. Other agents that it's taken me a year to book. And it's just so different with everyone. So anybody else have any other questions? Or
what would you say at this point for the two of you, and maybe it's different, is what percentage of your work is repeat clients as opposed to new stuff?
I would say 50 or 60%.
50 or 60, okay.
Yeah, so mine's probably less. Mine's probably about 20 to 30.
Okay. That's interesting. Also, I just wanted to offer to everybody.
But she's more talented than I am.
Well, that's...
No, it's not.
Well, because some people it's like 90. Like 90% of their work is repeat clients, and that's incredible. But yeah, the audition thing.
Yeah.
So you're going to send out everyone's email?
Yes.
Yeah, is everybody okay knowing everybody else's email? Thumbs?
If you don't feel comfortable, just email me separately, and then that way.
If anybody's in witness protection.
Yeah. Jillian, you have a question?
Yeah. You had mentioned earlier about certain personal questions you can ask the agent. What are some of those questions that are okay to ask the agent?
That's a great question. What do you enjoy doing when you're not being an agent? That's an easy one. What's your favorite sports team? Do you have a sports team?
Cat or dog person?
Yeah.
Neither. I like birds.
I would wait to ask about kids unless they may drop something in or something like that.
Yeah.
Just because that could be a sensitive thing. I mean, you can say well, what's your favorite fast food restaurant? I mean, really simple, basic things. And I know that may sound really trivial, but what that's doing is that's giving you a way to connect with them in the email. And again, we're setting ourselves apart. We're saying we're into creating these relationships, and that's how you do that. But that, just being able to think like that, even with just voiceover clients in general, that's how I get my repeat clients. I do a car dealership, and a guy was telling me, I think we were talking about something with cigars. He goes, oh, I love cigars. And I said, oh, what kind do you like? Sent him a box of cigars, and he was like, oh my gosh. We got on the next session. He was like, that was the nicest thing that anyone has ever done for me. It's just those simple things that nobody else does that will set you apart and create that relationship. We see it I'm just telling you, over the years that we've been in business, both Mike and I, that is the thing that we hear from clients consistently over the years that we've been in is wow, nobody does that. I've never gotten a handwritten thank you note. I've never gotten, especially these days, because everything's so virtual, the more that we can connect as people, the more memorable you're going to be, the more they're going to feel like they have that relationship with you. And
I'll share a really good one too. I actually just did this 2 weeks ago. I sent somebody a book off of Amazon.
Yes, love that.
We had a conversation, and he was very passionate about rhinos in Africa. So I sent him a book that I actually read that I enjoyed, and I just sent it to him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Didn't tell him I was going to do it. It just showed up.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. It's so great.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to pay for shipping either, did you?
Yeah. So good. Well, Listen, guys, we're here and available if you have any questions or if you need anything, or even if you just need some encouragement, please reach out to us because we know how hard it is and we know how frustrating it is and how sometimes it can be so hard to be so
I'll talk to you
persistent.
about this website.
Do what?
She's going to talk about the website.
Oh, okay. Anyways, yes, Juanita, we can talk about your website. But I just want to say thanks so much for everybody being with us. But we really do care about helping. And more than anything, we want to make sure that these classes and these workshops are the best quality and are actually helping you and giving you value. And so any of that information really does help. So.
And before I forget, some of the stuff that we didn't go over today, it'll be in the on-demand course in more detail. Thank you. Yes. So, but thank you, everybody. Everybody online.
Thanks, guys.
Nice to meet
We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Heidi, Mike. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay.